PCS notes. Explained, concise and substantiated notes, especially made for the bar exams. We hope you find these notes useful. If you do, please comment on this video and subscribe to our channel for notification about our latest work and other announcements. The Philippine Competition Act. Republic Act No. 10667. Bar Exam Notes Part 2. Powers and Functions of the Philippine Competition Commission. To implement the national competition policy, the law created an independent quasi-judicial body known as the Philippine Competition Commission or PCC. The law provides that Executive Order numbered 45 designating the Department of Justice as the competition authority is thereby amended. The Office for Competition, OFC, under the Office of the Secretary of Justice shall however be retained, with its powers and functions modified pursuant to Section 13 of the law. Question. What is the composition of the Commission? Suggested answer. The Commission shall be composed of a chairperson and 4 commissioners. Question. What are the qualifications of the chairperson and commissioners? Suggested answer. The chairperson and the commissioners shall be citizens and residents of the Philippines, of good moral character, of recognized probity and independence, and must have distinguished themselves professionally in public, civic or academic service in any of the following fields: economics, law, finance, commerce or engineering. They must have been in the active practice of their professions for at least 10 years, and must not have been candidates for any elective national or local office in the immediately preceding elections, whether regular or special, provided that at least one shall be a member of the Philippine Bar with at least 10 years of experience in the active practice of law, and at least one shall be an economist. Question. Who appoints the chairperson and the commissioners? Suggested answer. The chairperson and the commissioners, who shall have the rank equivalent of cabinet secretary and undersecretary, respectively, shall be appointed by the president. Question. What is the jurisdiction of the PCC? Suggested answer. The PCC shall have original and primary jurisdiction over the enforcement and implementation of the provisions of the law, and its implementing rules and regulations. Question. What are the specific powers of the PCC? Suggested answer. The specific powers of the PCC are enumerated in Section 12 of the Philippine Competition Act. However, the powers of the Commission relevant to the bar exams are as follows. 1. Quasi-judicial power. The PCC has the power to conduct inquiry, investigate, and hear and decide on cases involving any violation of the law and other existing competition laws motu proprio, or upon receipt of a verified complaint from an interested party or upon referral by the concerned regulatory agency, and institute the appropriate civil or criminal proceedings. 2. Regulate mergers and acquisitions. The PCC has the power to review proposed mergers and acquisitions, determine thresholds for notification, determine the requirements and procedures for notification, and upon exercise of its powers to review, prohibit mergers and acquisitions that will substantially prevent, restrict, or lessen competition in the relevant market. 3. Penalize abuse of dominant position. Upon finding, based on substantial evidence, that an entity has entered into an anti-competitive agreement or has abused its dominant position after due notice and hearing, stop or redress the same, by applying remedies, such as, but not limited to, issuance of injunctions, requirement of divestment, and disgorgement of excess profits under such reasonable parameters that shall be prescribed by the rules and regulations implementing this Act. 4. Sanction non-compliance and contempt powers. The PCC has the power to conduct administrative proceedings, impose sanctions, fines or penalties for any non-compliance with or breach of the law and its implementing rules and regulations, and punish for contempt. 5. Subpoena power. The PCC has the power to issue subpoena duces tecum and subpoena ad testificandum to require the production of books, records, or other documents or data which relate to any matter relevant to the investigation and personal appearance before the Commission, summon witnesses, administer oaths, and issue interim orders such as show cause orders and cease and desist orders after due notice and hearing in accordance with the rules and regulations implementing this Act. 6. Inspection with court order. The PCC, upon order of the court, may undertake inspections of business premises and other offices, land and vehicles, as used by the entity, where it reasonably suspects that relevant books, tax records, or other documents which relate to any matter relevant to the investigation are kept, in order to prevent the removal, concealment, tampering with, or destruction of the books, records, or other documents. 7. Adjustment or divestiture order. The PCC has the power to issue adjustment or divestiture orders, including orders for corporate reorganization or divestment, in the manner and under such terms and conditions as may be prescribed in the rules and regulations implementing this Act. Adjustment or divestiture orders, which are structural remedies, should only be imposed, 1. Where there is no equally effective behavioral remedy, or 2. Where any equally effective behavioral remedy would be more burdensome for the enterprise concerned than the structural remedy. Changes to the structure of an enterprise as it existed before the infringement was committed would only be proportionate to the substantial risk of a lasting or repeated infringement that derives from the very structure of the enterprise. 8. Deputization. The PCC has the power to deputize any and all enforcement agencies of the government or enlist the aid and support of any private institution, corporation, entity or association in the implementation of its powers and functions. And 9. Advisory opinion. The PCC has the power to issue advisory opinions and guidelines on competition matters for the effective enforcement of this Act and submit annual and special reports to Congress, including proposed legislation for the regulation of commerce, trade, or industry. In addition, the PCC has quasi-legislative function inasmuch as Section 50 of the law provides that the Commission, in consultation with the OJOFC and concerned sector regulators, shall promulgate the necessary implementing rules and regulations for the implementation of the Act. Thank you for watching. Watch out for our next videos.